Knifemaker Education video. And this one's a little different because number one, it's the first time I'm using a program that records my screen so you can see what my computer document has here, or what my computer screen is showing. And this is a new form for me. It's the custom order template or custom order request. And what this is a new form that I've been filling out with my customers when they order a custom knife, and they are making the decisions as to what they want their knife, as far as materials and stuff like that. So this is a Sheets document from Google, and it's nice because I can share it with the customer, but I can also block any editing so that the customer isn't able to make edits and go in and change things after the fact. But it's a link to the document that I send to the customer so they can view it, and any updates that are made to it by myself, when they go back and click that link again, they'll be able to see the new updates that I've made. So it's kind of a nice feature, and I'll show you in just a little bit as to where I use that. But when I'm talking with a customer and I'm getting information for the knife that they want made, obviously the date that I'm originally talking with them, so we're going to go April 7th. My customer is Joe Blow, and his email address or contact information would be right there. I usually try to deal with email. Some people don't like email, they prefer phone. I'll add that in, that's no problem. But the customer, obviously, they picked the model that they want, and Joe picked a Wicklow, which is one of my kitchen utility knives. And Joe decided, after some discussion with me and back and forth, that he wanted to go with the AEBL. So I added the AEBL steel and the steel price. I know that a Wicklow in AEBL cost me $8.36. The handle material is usually with an online customer. What I do is I send them. First I get a idea what kind of handle material you're looking for. Are you looking for a fancy burl? Do you have a favorite color? Do you want something that's natural colored, or do you want something that's orange or blue or something like that? And then I get pictures of just about everything that I have in stock, and I'll send them little pictures or videos of the different handle materials that I have available. And that's what I did with Joel Blow here, and he picked out a piece of black ash burl, and that had a $30 price tag on it for the block. What I do as soon as they pick out that handle block, I go ahead and put a piece of masking tape on it and write their name on it so that I know that block of wood needs to go with this knife. So that block of wood is now married to Joe Blow's knife. Handle hardware, I put it in there in case in the future somebody wants something different. I don't charge extra, whether they want Corbies or they want pins. Doesn't matter to me. That's part of my fixed cost that I'll show at the bottom a little later on in the video here. So liner is a drop-down menu of yes or no. For some reason, I've got option 3 and 4 in there. I'm not sure why. But, and it shows here in parentheses that if you want to add a liner, it's $12. The $12 covers the price of the liner material, and also the little bit of extra time that it takes me to finish a handle with a liner, gluing it up and such. But then I automatically add the liner color, and Joe wants a thin layer of blue rich light underneath the black ash burl. So we're going to add that $12 there. Now, a bolster is just my name for a segmented handle. It's two different handle materials, usually with a spacer in between them, glued to a liner. gives the appearance of a bolster. I charge $25 for that, um, and that includes the liner. So the this price will go up if obviously if they want mammoth ivory or something like that. I can't charge $25 extra. But if they just want two different colors of G10 or burl wood in the back and some paper micarta up front or something, that's no problem. That's part of the $25 fee. And like I said, that includes the liner. When you look at the prices of segmented handle scales, I think $25 is more than reasonable. The finish on the blade, I have three different options. I have machine finish, stonewash finish, which is a $10 charge, and a hand rubbed finish, or I'm sorry, hand rubbed satin finish, which is $25. Now, every once in a while, I get somebody who wants a hand rubbed satin finish on MagnaCut or LMAX or CPM M4. That's not something I'm going to do. I just I think $25 is more than reasonable for a hand rubbed satin finish, and I'm happy to do that on CPM 154, AEBL 5100, anything like that. So, but this customer requested a stonewash finish, and that adds a $10 price to that. Then comes the sheath, and they have option of leather, right-handed or left-handed, or Kydex. And the prices are in the drop down: $40 extra for a leather sheath, $20 extra for the Kydex. This is a kitchen knife, so there isn't going to be a sheath with that. Now we come to extras, and extras are the first one is chef knife or Glossric surcharge, which is a $30 surcharge, and it's an expensive surcharge, but it covers the extra time and abrasives that are needed for grinding the tall, flat grinds that are necessary on chef's knives or on the Glossric. So there's a $30 surcharge, and I put in parentheses here what I'm actually charging for, so the customer knows. I'm not just trying to soak an extra $30 out of them. There's real life expense to me with the extra abrasives and the extra time of grinding. Then there's a $9 surcharge for CPM MagnaCut or M4, and that's just because those steels just totally eat up abrasives. So in the parentheses, it covers extra abrasives that are needed just to finish those steels. So, and $9 is to me more than fair when you figure belts are running anywhere from $6 a piece to $16 a piece. This just helps me recoup part of that cost of the extra belts. Small tech locks to attach to a Kydex sheath, that's $18. Then I come to a stainless surcharge, and any knife that I do that's stainless is going to get the $10 surcharge, and that covers the foil, and it also covers liquid nitrogen for the cryo. And the cost of both of those is expensive, so I think $10 is more than fair for an upcharge or a surcharge on stainless. And then I also have a alternative sheath hardware. If somebody wants an Alta clip or one of the more expensive belt clips, I'm happy to do that. But I just have to figure out the price at the time. Some of those things I keep in stock. Some of them I would have to custom order. So that brings me down to the last page, or the second page here. And this is my per knife charge. And this is the fee for grinding, heat treat, epoxy, abrasives, shop supplies, etc. And I break it down into two different categories. I have full size, which was $130, or I have a small size, which is $115. The Wicklow is considered a full size knife. That's going to be pretty much anything larger than a Wicklow. The 115 or the small size is going to cover paring knives. It's going to cover Longfords, the smaller Longfords, the smaller Donegals, stuff like that is the small size. So when I take my my base cost of knife at 130, and I take all of these extra charges here and add them all up, I came up with $200.36. I always round it up to the nearest five. So I round up the price of this knife to 205. That's how much the customer would be paying for this Wicklow. The section down here is kind of the neat part, and this is a section that I build as I build the knife. So this is constantly changing, but once I send the original link to this document to the customer, when they click on it again a week later, it's going to have the updates in it. So if they made any changes, they can't make changes to the document. Only I can. But if they contacted me and made a change, that change will show up down here. So on the 8th of April, Joe made a decision on the blade steel as AEBL. On the 9th, I sent him some photos of different handle materials. He picked out a dyed black ash burl. For some reason, I didn't have the steel, so I ordered the steel on the 9th. The steel arrived on the 12th. Right away, when the steel arrived, I laid out the blade pattern and profiled it and got that done. Then on the 13th, Joe contacted me and said, "Hey, I think I want to add liners to that knife." So liners wasn't something he originally wanted. So I go back in and I add the blue rich light liners, and I make note of that. So he sees when he asked for it, and I can see when he asked for it. I haven't run into issues. Well, I shouldn't say that. I've run into issues in the past, but it's been my mistake in the past that I forgot to add a liner material. So these lines down here are not only for the customer to check, but also for me. So he requested the liners at that time. On the 15th, I was able to heat treat the blade. And on the 18th, I got the blade into the grinding queue, meaning that I usually grind 5 or 6 blades at a time. And this is just one of the 5 or 6 blades getting ground at that time. But then lo and behold, on the 19th, Joe contacts me again and says, "Hey, I think I want to upgrade to the stonewashed finish instead of the machine finish." So again, I make that change in the document, and when I save that document and he clicks on it, he can see the updated change. I'll also update the price right away. And then it just shows me going through the process of building his knife. This is something that's kind of nice that the customer gets to go back and look and see where his knife is in the process. If it's something that they're setting money aside for, they can, kind of plan on when they're going to need that money. You'll notice here on the 23rd, I glued up the handle, and at that time, it became serial number 2491. I always assign a serial number after the handle's been glued up, and the serial number is nowhere on the knife, but it's kept in a spreadsheet for myself. So when I have a customer that comes to me and tells me that they have a Wicklow and they don't remember the serial number, or they know the serial number because they still have the owner's card that I sent along, I'm able to go back and search that serial number and know exactly what steel it was and what handle material was on it, when it was made, pretty much all of that information. It's also really nice for me because when I have a customer who's bought multiple things, I can keep track of what that customer has bought, and it shows a little extra, I guess, a little extra care when I can pull up a knife that I sold 3 years ago and go, "Hey, how's that knife treating you?" and have the specifics of it. How's that blue antrim treating you? Um, and I think that's just a little extra touch. I think the main thing is for the customer to be able to see the process and to see that something is being done with their knife. Um, so this is a new form for me. I've only done about 5 of them now with my customers. They've seemed to like them. Some of them more so than others. Some of them just didn't really care. But then when I do ship out the knife, I do print out this and include it with the knife. So down the road, they'll know exactly how much they paid for that knife. They don't have to keep track of it, and they'll know exactly when it was made. And you know, for some people, they like having that. For the couple sheets of paper, it's free for me, I guess, as far as I'm concerned, and it's just something else I can add. If you have any questions or any suggestions on this knife maker education video, let me know. And otherwise, I'd like to know how you feel or what you think of my custom order template. You guys have a safe day.